All right, can I see the parties on Perales? Court is calling 2024 CR 0208, State of Texas versus James Ryan Perales. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense.
Roy Barrera Jr.
And are you Mr. Perales?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Judge, I have.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Perales, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication, community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're charged with the offense of evading arrest or detention with the vehicle. That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Totally.
Mr. Perales, has anyone threatened you, forced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you that anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial, showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, there's a $500 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
It is, Judge.
State?
Yes, Judge.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
The state is recommending that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years. There be a TAP evaluation and 120 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
State offer states to the one and all attachments.
No objections?
All right, you may continue to confer. Did you understand that today the state would be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding you guilty as you applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We're ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Absolutely, Judge. That's one of the brightest, cleanest, well-groomed young man that I've had the pleasure of representing lately. And he has a very bright future, college and beyond. So this was a situation that just escaped his better judgment, and he is taking full responsibility for what he's here for, and I have great hopes that he continues with his plans.
All right, so why are you doing something so foolish?
I wasn't thinking right, Your Honor. I don't believe I was thinking at all.
All right, so how old are you?
22, Your Honor.
Do you want to get a taste of prison life or jail life?
Not at all, Your Honor.
All right, so you're gonna have to start making better decisions. I don't know why today there's been a lot of evading cases that I've received. Don't know what's going on with people. So the way you were driving, you could have ended up killing somebody, or you could have killed yourself. Then your parents crying, right? Or either you killed somebody else and then you're not here for an evading. You're here for something else that is far more serious than just an evading. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
So what are your plans for your future?
I'm in college currently, Your Honor. I want to become a nurse. I also want to go to volunteer in clubs as well as other community groups within my college. So I want to go and become a member of the community so that way I can apply for scholarships and whatnot.
Okay, so how far are you in college? What year?
I'm in my first semester that's with, so I started college whenever COVID started and that's online strictly.
Mhm.
So that didn't do too well for me. So I had 3 attempts, but this is the last attempt where I will go in and succeed.
Okay. So what courses are you taking?
Right now, I'm taking one class, which is EDUC, because I had failed the other classes due to COVID.
Okay. All right, the court is going to sentence you to a $500 fine that will be probated, 2 years deferred adjudication. And I'm assuming, I've learned I should not make assumptions. Please tell me, you don't have any children, do you?
No, ma'am.
Okay. No, not expecting.
No, ma'am.
Okay. I always ask that because you need to get yourself together before you start bringing another human onto the planet. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor, we agree.
All right, $500 fine, probated, 2 years deferred adjudication, 120 hours of community service restitution. That will be waived if he completes his degree.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. I don't know if 2 years will give you enough time to complete your degree. So if he completes his degree, then it will be waived. And also if he is a full-time student. So for me, one class is not going to get it. When I was in college, over the summertime, I took 12 hours. And each semester I took 24 hours because I quickly learned that when you get to a certain point, when I was in school, once you get to 12 hours a semester, anything over 12 hours was free. And I was like, hey, nobody should have told me that. So I was doing 24 hours a semester. And then I figured I was in high school. We had 6 classes. And in college, all they're asking you is Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, and Tuesdays and Thursdays. I was like, how hard could it be?
Exactly.
So
Get with
for
it.
me, if you want credit and you haven't completed your degree, then you need to be in school full time. And I'll go easy on you, at least 9 hours. You
Yes.
understand? And then none of this W business. I learned about W's too when people said, oh, Stephanie, just withdraw. So if you start out at 12 hours and then you just slide in with a couple of W's, that will not count for me. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, there's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There'll be regular UAs. You can either do the regular UAs or you can do the patch. Your counsel will explain to you, patch costs more, but with the patch, they just put it on you and then you come back and let them take it off. There is to be defensive driving. Proof of employment or full-time enrollment in school within 45 days. There's to be no employment with minors or as a home healthcare provider. If you go through your college and they want you to start doing an internship or something as a home healthcare provider, you can come back and ask the court. And I may allow it depending on how you've been doing on probation. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Field visits, 1 time per month for 2 months. Probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
Your Honor, I have one question.
Sure.
Whenever I'm applying for jobs, do I have to go in and say yes for whenever I was convicted of a felony?
Well, this is not a conviction. What I can tell you is back in the day, when I was 21, which was 2 years ago. Okay. Yeah, last year. There used to be a time where you would fill out a job application and the only thing they would ask you is, have you been convicted of a felony before? And you could say no, because this is deferred adjudication. It's not a conviction, right? But now they go a step further on some applications. They ask, have you ever been placed on deferred adjudication? So if they ask you that, you have to be honest. If they ask you if you've ever been convicted, the answer to that is no, because this is not a conviction. You understand?
Understood, Your Honor.
All right, is there anything else?
That's it, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. Oh, could I see the state and Mr. Barrera, if you could come around, please? Or 10 870, State of Texas versus Matthew Castillo. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense,
Raymond Martinez.
are you Mr. Castillo?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. The defense has previously filed motions to remove the GPS. And an order was entered by me on February 2024 for him to be placed on GPS tracking only and the fees waived. So we're now hearing the defense is requesting that the GPS be removed. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Defense, any evidence to present?
Judge, just we asked the court to take judicial notice of the court's file, which would indicate how long he's been on this device and whether or not any violations have been reported to the court.
All right. And state, any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. The state tendered what we can mark as State's Exhibit 1. We presented it to Mr. Martinez for examination. I believe there was no objection, but it's the police report. It's the prosecution guide in this case.
All right. Any objections
Does
to
not object, Judge, if that's part of their file, but I think if you read it closely, it's very clear that there's aspects of it that are not included, like video of my client talking to the officers and things like that. But that's part of it, yes.
All right, so the court will note that it's not the entire prosecution guide. Is that correct, defense?
Yes.
All right, so any objections to State's Exhibits 1
No, Your
for purposes of this hearing only?
no, Your
All right, then the court will accept into evidence State's Exhibit 1. Court has reviewed State's Exhibit number 1. Any other evidence besides State's Exhibit number 1?
no, Your
All right, the court will hear any argument.
Your Honor, the reason for, actually, I think since this is defense's motion, I think
Yeah.
we have first argument.
So Judge, one of the things that you don't see in the state's exhibit, the officer clearly suggests that he has a conversation with my client at the scene of where he's getting arrested, and he asks questions of my client. He suggests in there that my client doesn't have an answer for some, what he thinks are relevant questions. But what's left out of that, and if you were able to watch the video, it would show that my client asked the officer, well, if I explain to you what happened, am I still gonna get arrested? And the officer tells him, doesn't matter what you tell me, I'm gonna arrest you. So then he doesn't answer any more questions. So in that context, it's somewhat misleading. What you do see in there is there's dispute about, there's a dispute on the roadway between two cars. There's two persons, two men in the other vehicle. My client is by himself. My client suggests that they approached his car, banged on his window, startled him, and then there was some back and forth. There's disputes about, is he following them or are they following him? Both appear, from what we can discern from our conversations and the 911, which is not in evidence. They're both concerned about whether or not the other car is going to follow them to their homes, because apparently they both live in the general area. So they kind of both stay on the roadway until my client's pulled over and arrested. There is an allegation that he pointed a weapon. I don't think there's any dispute that he's going to suggest that he felt in danger by them following him in their car. And as I said, if you look at his prior history, you look at his performance on pre-trial, I don't think he poses a danger to anybody, Judge, under the circumstances. I think he knows that he needs to be more careful about if people cut him off, just let him cut you off. If people are driving in an aggressive fashion around you, try to ignore them.
And let me ask you this. So how long has he been on GPS?
Since he made bond, right?
Oh, you want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Matthew Castillo.
All right, how long have you been on bond?
I believe I've been on bond since the day I got out, which was June 2nd. or 3rd.
Okay, June 2nd.
I was on house arrest for a month and a half, maybe. And then I was put on GPS tracking with a curfew from 7:30 to 10.
All right, and so you bonded out June 2nd. Is that June 2nd of 2023?
I believe so, yes, ma'am.
All right, and so have you been on GPS since June of 2023?
Since then, yes, ma'am.
All right. State, any other evidence or argument?
The only argument, Judge, is that from the state's perspective, this is a random road rage incident that occurred. There was no real reason as to why the defendant should have been following these people. I believe that in the police report, they indicate that they did call 911 because he was in his car flashing a gun at them, pointing a gun at them. And that's what kind of caused this all to happen. What the state's concerned about is that these are people that weren't aware of each other. They had no relationship, and this is how the defendant acted. So that was why the state's always asked for some type of GPS monitoring.
Okay, so, and both parties can help me understand. I've read the police report. I don't take any of it as true. I'm just reading it to try to make a decision on your bond conditions. I'm trying to figure out how being on GPS would in any way guarantee that there's not going to be a road rage. I'm trying to figure out what's the point of the GPS in this case.
Again, it could potentially show us if there's some type of gun store, if there's some indication there where another firearm's been purchased. That would be one of the state's concerns, but that's just one thing that just came to mind.
Okay. And are you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do?
I'm a cook.
Okay. I mean, he's been on GPS since 2023, June of 2023. Have there been any violations while he's been on GPS?
As far as the state's aware now.
Not that we believe, Judge, no.
All right. Have you had any violations on GPS?
Oh, man. I mean, my charger went off, or the thing went off that it wasn't charged fully. That's about it.
All right. I don't understand why he should remain on GPS.
Again, Judge, I understand it's just due to the nature of the events we
Okay.
have to oppose.
And the reason why I'm saying this is because I could see, for example, if there is GPS because there's a complainant and somebody knows where this complainant lives and you don't want them going to a specific location. With regards to him, is there any specific location he's not allowed to go to while on GPS? All right, so then that's not an issue. Is he allowed to drive while he's on GPS?
Yes.
Have you been driving on GPS? Usually those are the things that I see. And I understand what you're saying, State, that it's just the nature of the offense. But usually when someone's placed on GPS, you know, with family violence cases, for example, we're trying to make sure that this person is not going to the complainant's house or anywhere in that vicinity. And here we don't even have a vicinity location because nobody knows where the people are. I'm going to grant the defense's motion for removal of GPS.
Thank you, ma'am. I
All right.
appreciate it greatly.
All right, and we'll be back on April 29th. And if there is some issue that develops, then we'll see where we are at that time. I just don't see the purpose of GPS if he's being allowed to go wherever, and we just want to see where he is. Okay. All right, so there'll be removal of GPS.
Thanks, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're here on a motion to revoke.
Yes, Your
Are
Honor.
y'all ready to proceed on the motion to revoke?
The state's ready, Judge.
We're ready, Your Honor.
All right, could I have the file stamp for motion to revoke, please? All right, court is calling 2022 CR 10230, State of Texas versus Michael Stacker. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state
Mr. Mullin, state.
defense?
Jesse Rivera, Judge, on behalf of Mr. Stacker, we're ready to proceed.
Are you Michael Stacker?
Yes, Your Honor.
Going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, are you the same Michael Stacker who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2022 CR 10230 for the offense of injury to a disabled person bodily injury on August 17, 2023 for a period of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
State's proceeding on violation of condition number 2 that on or about the 19th day of October 2023 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Michael Stacker did then and there illegally use a controlled substance, mainly methamphetamine in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True, Your Honor.
The state's gonna waive their remaining allegations, Your Honor.
Any objection?
There is no objection.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is a proposed agreement. The proposed agreement is that, or we're asking that the court find that he did in fact violate condition number 2, that you find that he is, adjudicate him guilty, revoke his deferred adjudication, alter and amend his probation to include safety and zero tolerance with regards to his other conditions.
All right, so I'll need if I follow this agreement, I'll need a trial court certification.
That's what I thought, Your Honor.
All right. So here's my question. Does he have open cases pending?
No, Your Honor.
They're all closed?
He has one, but I believe they're going to dismiss it.
Correct, Judge. If you,
The burglary, that's here in,
it's here in Bear County, Judge.
Okay. All right, you want to grab,
Yes, ma'am.
and that's being dismissed due to a missing witness? All right, while your attorney's filling that out, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Michael Stacker.
All right, how often are you using meth?
I was using it probably every 2 weeks, ma'am.
All right, and have you been employed or no?
Yes, ma'am.
So why are you using knowing that I could send you up to 10 years in prison? What's going on in your life?
I just made a mistake. Started. a
No,
business.
no,
I
not
started a
mistakes.
business.
Not mistakes. You're making choices.
It's not going to happen anymore. My choices led to my consequences. I tried to start a business, was going through a separation, and just went down that rabbit hole.
All right, separation with whom?
Just with my mother, the mother of my child,
All right, so how long have you been in a relationship with her?
10 years.
Okay, you want to have him fill that out?
Yes, just keep your secret.
All right, and with regards to this case, you're all asking that I find him guilty. What are you all asking that his underlying be?
5 years, Judge.
All right, is there going to be any objection to you to the underlying being 5 years?
No, Your Honor, again, he would definitely benefit from SATF or safety, whichever one he can get to first. I believe he's in pretty serious need of the rehab.
All right, and the length of probation, what are you all suggesting?
The length of.
Yes.
5 years.
5 over 5 would be fine, Judge.
All right, are you in agreement with the outcome of this case as stated by the state and the defense, Mr. Stacker?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is finding violation of condition number 2 true. Court will find you guilty. The court will sentence you to 5 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 5 years. There's to be 120 hours of community service restitution. How old is your child?
She's fine.
Court is going to order parenting classes. Once he completes parenting classes, the court will deem the community service hours satisfied. Probation, does he need a new TAP evaluation? All right, the court is going to order a TAP evaluation in custody. There's going to be a felony drug court referral in custody. Proof of employment within 45 days of release. There's to be no there's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. The UA hotline until further notice. Anger management classes. And you said you had a request.
Thank you, Judge. I don't know if the court's willing to make as a condition of the bond that no harm or injury is contact or with the complainant on the vote cabinet is the mother of this child. The child was also present.
What's her name? There's to be no contact with. If she wants to have contact with you, then she'll need to come in the court. You understand?
Understand.
And so there's not to be any cards, letters, Happy Mother's Day or anything of that nature with her. No contact whatsoever. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And just clarification, so we're on the same page, you indicated no contact with any minor children. Does that include?
No unsupervised contact with minors.
Okay.
So if you have visitation with your child, someone else needs to be present.
Understand.
And that needs to be somebody that's approved through probation.
Okay, so we'll let my probation officer know.
Yes. And is Child Protective Services involved in this at all?
Not that I'm aware, Judge.
No, Your Honor.
All right, so we'll do CPS compliance if applicable. Probation, is there anything else? All right, and field visits, one time per month for 3 months, and then at probation's discretion. And if he's not accepted into felony drug court, then follow the recommendations of TAP. All right, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, ma'am.
Because this is an agreement that you've reached with the state, and also because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
No.
All right, we can go off the record. In this court, to be successful on probation, you got to be in contact with people. Communication is key. If you have an issue, you need to let your probation officer know. If you feel as though they're not addressing it, you can always come back to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Good seeing you. All right. Hey, it's good seeing you.